It's the Atlantic
Welcome to the
Division.
solo
I have a
sauce.
wardrobe change. It's not the
Make it
solo
happen,
sauce.
baby.
I have a wardrobe change where it's a wardrobe change and we're family-friendly content.
You can, you might have to make a non-family friendly version for the other video.
Yeah, we're gonna have to open up a website only sauce. All right, I think this should be better. Okay.
I'm so excited.
All right, here we go. Oh, this is much more comfortable than a hoodie.
Did you already have the Maple Leafs hockey shirt?
Admittedly, yes.
No, okay. Well, I love that. You know what? It's so crude. It's great.
It gets the point across.
I love that it's not. It's notebook paper. It's not
for those watching.
Paper.
You know who you are, and you know why I'm doing this. Listen, for the people watching, you know who you are, and you know why I did this.
Don't we all?
And I'll deal with you Sunday.
True.
With that being said, yes, I did buy this on my honeymoon when I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I do not wear it regularly, otherwise I would have worn it already. But it's one of those, one thing you buy from every arena type of deals,
Yep.
That's where my Columbus shirt came from, and that's where my Buffalo shirt came from that I bought as a 2X, and I'm pretty sure it's a children's 2X.
Oh, no.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sucky Sauce, episode number 12. Tyler Dell alongside Andrew Mucaria with our special guest today, COVID. We cannot thank you enough for wanting to spend part of your Tuesday with us. We know we haven't been pumping out a ton of reels over the weekend like we normally have been trying to do. I have been slowly dying.
Listen, I was busy. You don't make the reels I do. It's my fault. I was busy.
Well, you make them. I post them to Facebook. You post them everywhere else.
Busy time. Valentine's Day. You had COVID. Busy time.
We had a week. That's the best way to say it. We had.
Yeah, you can say that again.
So, before we jump into the Atlantic Division report cards that I did not make fancy pictures for, specifically so my shirt could be visible the whole time, we owe probably nobody an apology, but we definitely have to make a public apology.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Every bad thing we said about the Four Nations was absolutely flung out a window.
Mm-hmm.
USA Canada Saturday night. Holy hell. In the first 9 seconds of the game, you get 3 fights, almost a 4th fight. I'm pretty sure Brock Nelson's hands were slashed off.
Yep.
And Nathan McKinnon ate a puck.
Yep.
That was all before not even the first official shot. I'm pretty sure that was like, if you're one of those people that comes into the game after the anthem late, you pretty much missed the whole game in the first 9 seconds.
Dude, it was so electric. This whole tournament's been good. And what's funny is Saturday was also the NBA All-Star skills competition, and people were like, there was some relay race where people were purposely missing shots because hitting the shot didn't matter, and it was just speed. So you have that versus this tournament where people are willing to die for their country.
Yeah, there was a meme on Facebook all weekend that was football has turned into 7-on-7 flag Pro Bowl. NBA, and the NBA All-Star game, they don't play defense. And then in big capital letters, I will die for my country in this exhibition game.
So true. It's a big W. Big W for the NHL.
So I'm going to take back every bad thing we said about the Four Nations before this. This tournament has been nothing short of electric.
Yep.
And it needs to – if this replaced the All-Star game every year, never going to hear a complaint from me.
Yeah, I'm down.
The only thing I would say is and it would be kind of tough, because then it wouldn't be the 4 nations. But I would like to see other countries get involved. Like maybe what you do is you do like a rotation where the championship teams keep coming back, but whoever was third and fourth, like let's say just like Germany and Czech Republic, Latvia, Russia, like kind of cycle it through.
So U.S. and Canada every year, and then the rest.
Yeah, but but at the same time, the only reason that idea doesn't work is we have this wonderful thing called the Olympics, which we will be going back to next year. Which I don't know. It's something I caught on the scheduling. I don't know if you caught this. The NHL returned to the Olympics next year.
Mm-hmm.
There is still an All-Star game scheduled next year.
Yeah, I was talking about that before with a bunch of people. Like, I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Well, because I was talking about it too. I was texting my friend and I was like, I thought we weren't going back to the Olympics till 2030. And they were like, no, we're going back next year. I was like, that's odd because there's an All-Star game next year. And they were like, are you sure about that? I'm like, I'm very sure about it. I'm working it. So
yeah, I don't know. That's because like, unless they squeeze the All-Star weekend in an actual weekend and only give teams off Friday and Monday, and then do it like an Olympic break in February, because the Olympics are what? It would be now, like basically the entire month of February.
Well, if I can find the Olympic schedule for next year, because let's see, they are 2026. I think the winter next year is in Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Milano Cortina. So it's going from February 6th to February 22nd. So it would be right now.
Right now, yeah.
But now, if I'm going to fast forward in my phone to the February 26th calendar, so it would be February 6th to the 22nd. Oh, my. That's a 2.5 week break. Okay, I don't like it, but I think I know what's going to happen. Just a theory. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have the Olympics from the 6th to the 22nd. They're going to waste no time. They're going to be back playing like the 23rd or 24th. They will not waste time. I could see possibly nobody gets a bye week next year. And they do the All-Star game January 30th, January 31st, and February 1st. And then everybody's just off from the 2nd to the 5th. That gives everybody enough time to get to Italy who's participating, and then everybody else just goes home. I think we're going to end up getting I think we're going to end up close to a month off next
year. I hate it, but yeah, I mean, the bye weeks are dumb in the first place anyway.
Well, if I remember correctly, when they announced the All-Star game last year at the Islander Ranger MetLife game, it was still not known if they were going back to the Olympics.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I don't blame them for that.
I don't know. I mean, a month with no NHL is like
listen, we can sit here like idiots. Well, here's the thing. A month without the NHL kind of sucks. But getting that return back to the Olympics that we've been most people have been kind of desperate for. Yeah. I've been kind of indifferent. I've been indifferent on it only because it might kind of be partially an Islander player's fault we don't go there anymore. At least one of the reasons. Referencing when Tavares blew out his MCL.
Yep.
I think it was in the qualifiers nonetheless.
Oh my God.
So probably partially our fault. I mean, listen, there's a case you can argue you can argue it either which way. For going, for not going. Yeah. I'm sure our NHL GMs and owners would prefer that they don't go because,
of course,
liability.
Obviously, yeah.
But I mean, listen, if you think like I'm going to use a name, like I'm just going to use McDavid as an example. He's been in the league since 2015.
Yep.
This is season 10. You could argue he's going to be, if I remember correctly, he's going to be 28 at the end of this year.
That's 28 or 29.
So on top of getting an obnoxiously large contract when all things are said and done next season, because he's only got 1 year left on the Edmonton deal, and I even though I don't see him leaving Edmonton. I'm going off on a tangent. That's what we do. Even though I don't see him leaving Edmonton, I do not see him signing an extension, and I see him wanting to see what's out there first. I feel like as crazy as it's going to sound, as crazy as it might sound, I feel like it's going to fall into that Juan Soto territory where every team is going to make an offer on him.
I think without a doubt. I mean, how could you not make an offer on him?
No, you can't not. So I think the point I'm trying to make here is that the kid's already going to be 10, 11 years into his career before he hits 30.
Yeah.
If you include next year's Olympics, he's only going to have 3 Olympics.
Yeah.
You have guys who have been in the league since 24. You have guys who got into the league 2015. I'm sure. I know the 2015 draft class was mildly loaded. So you have a lot of guys. You do have a lot of guys in that draft class who have come and gone since then that never even got the Olympics.
Yeah, you got a point.
Plus, you also got to think you're going to see a vastly different Olympic team than we were, I guess, used to seeing. I mean, next year, you're used to seeing guys. Listen, very safe to say Crosby's going to get that Olympic nod because he's probably because he's on his farewell tour.
Yeah.
Or he's pretty much on the beginning of it. McDavid will obviously be there, but there's outside of Crosby and McDavid, you're looking at McKinnon, Cale Makar, probably Devon Toews. After that, the roster's pretty open-ended.
You're not wrong.
I mean, I think it's going to be. I think all the rosters will be fairly similar to what we're seeing in the Four Nation, but I also think not so much a Canada USA problem, but more like a Czech Republic, like a Latvia problem, like places like those where they don't have a lot of NHL representation.
I agree. Yeah,
those rosters are going to be insane, and if Russia was to be there, that roster would be terrifying.
It's a little bit,
but that would also probably be an Ovechkin-less roster.
True. Yeah.
The only reason I would see him going next year, should Russia have been allowed to play, would be he's missed out on 2018, 2022. He's missed out on 3 Olympics already.
Yeah, but at this point, it's like, is he willing to risk his actual matters? So let's just say he takes until he was on a drought, takes until late next year to get even close to the goal scoring record. Does he risk getting hurt in the Olympics?
Not even that, too, but you're only talking, he's 15 goals away now? I think it's 15 to tie it, 16 to break it.
So around, give or take a couple, yeah.
He can do that. He can still. It's Alex freaking Ovechkin. He can still realistically do that this season. And I'm still on the fence of if he does do it this year, does he stick around and just stack onto it, or is he just going to go?
If he can still go and the Capitals are good, he's going to keep going.
If it's me and I'm in his position, I want to get that record as close to unbreakable as I possibly can. Because there's only 2 people right now playing that I think could realistically come even close to breaking it. Connor McDavid is one, just because he's a points machine.
Yeah.
And Austin Matthews is the other, because he seems to be good for 45 to 55 goals a season on the regular. Yeah,
that's absurd.
I mean, listen, that's essentially what Ovechkin had to do. And Matthews is doing it. Matthews will probably have a little bit more working in his favor long term in his career. Because I think a lot of people forget if the 04-05 lockout doesn't happen, Ovechkin breaks his record last year.
This is true. Yeah, you're right.
So Matthews is going to get that extra season.
Yeah.
But More so, I am interested to see how the NHL is going to handle everything next year. Because remember, I think they even moved the Winter Classic to New Year's Eve.
They did.
So,
They
and I
did.
think it. Why am I blanking on who it is? I think is
Rangers and Panthers.
Yeah, it's Rangers Panthers in Florida. That's going to be a riot.
I plan on being there.
Well, listen, I think my thing with that particularly right now is I know Bettman's whole thing when he was talking about it. Well, people are going to think we finally lost our minds. It's like, not really. You already did this twice in California. We know you can do it.
Yeah.
We just know it's not going to be easy.
No, it's going to be. It's good. That ice is going to be so bad. Because the air temperature is going to be so warm unless they get a weird cold front in Miami. It's not like they're playing in northern Florida. They're playing in Miami.
Where are they playing though?
Lone Depot Park.
Okay, so they already have that in their advantage.
It is, yeah.
Well, it's a dome. If you pay attention to what people say about Lone Depot Park online, that building gets very cold very quick.
Really? Damn. Good for them.
So, long story short, one of my friends is living in Florida now, so I was trying to plan out a trip. Maybe we go to a Marlins game because he only lives about 90 minutes away. So okay. I was looking up the arena, and everybody was like, yeah, the food sucks, and it gets very cold very quickly.
I guess, yeah, that's working in their favor, then.
I mean, listen, it's the NHL. They'll do what they need to do to make it work. I think we both know that.
Yeah, it's going to end up being fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine, I don't think we've missed a ton of major news other than the fact that we were dead wrong about this Four Nations.
Well, now Charlie McAvoy in the hospital.
Yes, he's – well, did you see Bill Daly putting his foot down on that?
Yeah. Dork.
Yeah, I don't exactly appreciate that.
Mike Sullivan's interview, he ended it like a freaking Marvel post-credit scene. He's just like, Quinn Hughes is coming.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I think, listen, Quinn Hughes is going to play. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
They're going to make it happen.
I think there was like a minor league trade today with Vegas, and I could pull it up.
Vegas making minor league moves and not just,
It was a future consideration.
I didn't think they had a minor league team.
Yeah, the Silver Knights.
I was.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
No, I know. I was joking.
Oh, yeah. They made a trade today with Nashville. Nashville receives Grigory Denisenko.
Yes, Grigory.
For future considerations.
Sure.
I also believe, based off of actually doing a little bit of brief scrolling on Twitter, I believe teams were allowed to start practicing again today.
Yeah, I believe so.
So if that's the case, it's been a while since I've done an Islander rant. Let's see who showed up to this practice and who didn't.
Good luck.
Let's see.
No one showed up.
Not many practice updates. Oh, actually, there is some pretty good ones. Okay. For the Islanders, Ryan Pulock in an orange no contact jersey.
Okay.
Scott Mayfield, full practice participant.
Okay.
Now that's the bad news. Let's see. Oh. Islanders they're talking to Siplikov on his extension already.
Okay, that's good. Yep, that's good.
It's the rumor is they're talking about $3 million a year, which is, I think, what would we say? That's about $2 million more than we predicted.
Yeah.
I think we predicted him going up to about $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
But
they must see something.
$3 million for 3 years. I'm not going to complain about that.
That covers with the cap going up and stuff. That's yeah.
So $3 million a year for 3 years in his contract year when the cap is well north of $100 million. He takes up less than 3% of the cap by then.
Then you're chilling with that.
Yeah, no complaint on that one.
No.
Let's see. Okay. I think it's time.
Is it time?
It's time.
All right.
Well, it's also time to make sure somebody gets a good picture of this shirt because you know where that's getting posted.
Don't worry.
I'm sure you already did.
Don't worry. I'm going to grab it in the edit.
Terrific. So we have the Atlantic Division today, arguably the second best division in the league.
Yes.
How the mighty Metro has fallen.
Oh, how.
So there was a couple of interesting notes I picked out of this. Of the eight Atlantic Division teams, okay, 5 of them have top 15 power plays. 3 of them are top 5 power plays.
Interesting. Okay.
That is something I think is going disgustingly overlooked. Not that it matters as a stat division wide.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a stat that it makes you very scared of the Atlantic. So starting with the Panthers. Let's start at the bottom, work our way up.
Yes, please.
So we'll start with the Sabres, 22, 27, and 5, good for 8th in the Atlantic, as expected, for 49 points. They are 13, 12, and 3 at home, 9, 15, and 2 on the road. A power play percentage of 16.7% for 27th in the league. Actually, a halfway decent penalty kill at 19th in the league. Just around that 77% number. Halfway decent.
Halfway.
The Sabres are no longer allowed to get leeway from me. They get an F.
Yep, they get a big fat
F. They get an F. This is the longest active playoff drought in the league currently. It's going to stay that way again this year. It is going to stay that way again next year unless they start doing real hockey.
Like, what's wrong here? It's so, I don't understand.
A team that has Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch.
Yep.
I'm going to throw this name in there, even though I still think there's plenty of time to get even better. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yep. Bowen Byram. Dylan
Cousins. Keep going.
Peyton Krebs has a future.
This is not a team that should suck.
No, not at all.
This is a team that, arguably speaking, should be fighting for the wild card. They've brought back Lindy Ruff this year for like his 3rd stint of abysmal hockey.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what we're doing here if you're the Sabres.
Yeah, they're the 4th worst team in the NHL. It's crazy.
They're the 4th worst team in the NHL. They have a bottom 5 power play and somehow have an average penalty kill. Like I
don't get it.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
No, I'll never understand it. It's a good roster. You should at least be better than the Penguins. Be better than the Flyers with that roster. It's a better roster.
Listen, arguably speaking, they should be better than the Penguins. They should be better than the Flyers. They should be better than the Canadians.
Yes.
They should be better. I'm not gonna throw Boston there. That's crazy talk.
They
should be better than Ottawa, in all honesty.
Yeah.
They should be better than Ottawa.
They should be fighting for a wild card spot.
that roster should be better than the Islanders. I would put that roster toe to toe with this year's Rangers. I cannot specify that enough.
Yeah.
This year's Rangers, I put that roster toe to toe with. I would put that roster toe to toe with Columbus.
Yeah, definitely.
I would put that roster toe to toe with, let's pick somebody from the West, Utah.
Yeah.
I would put that roster toe to toe with St. Louis.
Yeah, that roster honestly is very similar to Utah to me.
This team should not. But that's the thing is this roster is so structurally similar to Utah. Utah's fighting for a wild card. They are fighting for the lottery.
And Utah's fighting for the wild card in the toughest division, in the one tougher division.
The only division that's harder, and they're fighting for the wild card in it.
Yep.
You put Utah in the Atlantic right now. I think they're probably sitting pretty in the wild card at minimum.
Yeah, they'd be above Ottawa. They'd be in that 4 spot.
Moving to Montreal before the Sabres give me COVID again.
COVID part 2.
It's like Nelly, the remix to COVID.
Yeah.
Montreal 25, 26, and 5, 7th in the Atlantic for 55 points. 13, 12, and 4 at home, 12, 14, and 1 on the road. Decent power play at 20.7%. Good for 19th in the league. Very good special teams on the penalty kill, 81.7th, 8th in the league. Points leader being Nick Suzuki with 52. The goals leader being Cole Caulfield. We spoke about this a couple weeks ago. I can't push myself away from the Canadiens being at like an A-.
Yeah, I mean, I gave them a B. They're doing everything right. They're going. They're gonna smash their win total from last year. The win total last year was 30. They're at 25 wins already.
This is how teams should be rebuilding.
Yeah,
you get a good forward young core. You get a good young defensive core, and the goalie doesn't really matter at that point.
And their goaltending's not atrocious.
No,
the
it's not.
Is a little meh, but there isn't. I mean, I like Sam Montembeault.
Yeah, listen, Sam Montembeault has been very good for the Canadiens. I don't think they expected Lane Hudson to be this ready this fast, so that definitely sped them up.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Wi-Fi floating around who's just going to kill the next thing he sees. And then again, I mean, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, I mean, that's their 1-2 punch.
And you tie it all together with Martin St. Louis as your coach.
You tie that all together with St. Louis as a coach. You tie that all around with a guy. I know it's not on the ice, but you tie a guy with Marty St. Louis and Carey Price, who is still around that team every day.
Yep.
Like things are just going to go well. And this Canadiens team is going to be the scary Canadiens team it was in the mid 2010s where everybody was terrified to play them.
Yep. That's coming sooner rather than later.
But you know who nobody's terrified to play?
Tell me.
The Boston Bruins.
Nope, not terrified at all. 27,
24, and 6. Good for 6 in the Atlantic at 60 points. 18, 9, and 3 at home. 9, 15, and 3 on the road. Abysmal power play, 14%, 30th in the league. Penalty kill is 75.4%, 25th in the league. Yep. As you would expect, Pasternak is leading the show over there.
Of course.
Because who else is going to? By the way, fun fact about the Bruins and why they're getting a hard D from me. Oh, hold on a minute.
I'm going to have to reuse that meme. 10 out of 10. Well done.
I hate it here.
I love it here.
Why they're going to get a regular D grade from me.
It's not better.
Shut up. If you look at the Bruins roster right now, Pasternak has 28 goals on that roster.
Yeah.
There are only 5 other people on that roster with double-digit goals.
Yep.
We are in February.
We are indeed in February. Late February.
That is pathetic.
That's bad.
Oh, great. I'm about to be memed.
Oh, you're going to be memed so hard. And you got
me
doing it. Oh.
Now I got to change my grade. They get a D-.
I'm gonna PG.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I'm actually pretty comfortable giving him an F. I'm going to be honest with you.
The only reason I'm not giving them an F is because I expected them to fall off.
Well, here's why I'll give him an F. How they didn't see this coming after trading Linus Ullmark is beyond me.
Yeah, that's very true.
This problem doesn't happen if you don't trade Linus Ullmark. This is not a knock on Jeremy Swayman. I don't think he's a bad goalie.
No.
I don't think he's an elite goalie. He's kind of like we just talked about him. He's kind of like Sam Montembeault. He can get the job done for now, but he's not going to take you to the playoffs. You're not going to win a cup with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, and now they just lost Charlie McAvoy maybe for some time.
Yeah, you probably lose Charlie McAvoy for a little bit. I'm sure Brad Marchand's going to do something stupid on Thursday to get himself killed.
The Canadians are going to finish above them. Like they're going to swap places.
I think I would not be surprised to see the Bruins as sellers, because I think that's the other thing people are forgetting, that we are, as of this Friday, we are 2 weeks out of the deadline. People are going to start making serious moves.
Goosebumps.
It's coming.
It's coming, baby.
Yeah, I could. I'm not even going to say it, but I can justify giving them a D. But shut up.
No, I'm just looking at who they're going to sell this year. It should be fun, dude.
No, listen, they have. I mean, listen,
Marchand's a UFA after this year.
I don't see them selling their captain, though. That's the only problem.
It'd be dumb not to. I mean, he is old, though. He is 36.
I think after this, you see him, he'll get one of those 2-year farewell tour deals.
Yeah, maybe. Most of their roster is not under their forward roster is not under contract next year.
Yeah, and they're going to be
they have
thorn
5 forwards. They have Pasta, Elias Lindholm, Charlie Coyle, Pavel Zacha, and Mark Kastelich.
Yeah, and July 1st, they're just going to be a thorn in everybody's sides trying to sign people.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I feel like they should be selling pretty much everybody except Elias Lindholm has a no trade clause, so there goes that. Full no movement clause. He's one of the top guy I would trade.
Moving to the Red Wings.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. 28, 22, and 5. Good for 5th in the Atlantic, 61 points. 15, 12, and 2 at home, 13, 10, and 3 on the road. The 4th best power play in the league at 27.3%. That's something.
That is something.
69.7% penalty kill, dead last in the league. Not a good something.
No, not a good something at all.
The team, Alex DeBrincat leading the team in goals with 24. Lucas Raymond carrying the team in assists with 38 and points with 59. We've spoken about this before. The Yzer plan is fake. It does not exist, and it's not real. I think I'm at the point I can't give them more than a C.
Yeah, I gave him a C- only because they kind of picked it up and got back into a wild card spot. But you want to talk about a loaded roster that isn't living up to expectations? Here you go. I mean,
well, that's kind of where my C is coming from.
Yeah, Lucas Raymond, Dylan Larkin, DeBrincat, Seider, Kane, Tarasenko. The list goes on.
I mean, listen, there's good things to point out on the team. Okay, you're 6 wins above 500 in a pretty good division. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're 5th. Okay, not ideal, but it's okay.
Tough division.
You're 5th behind freaking Ottawa.
Well, yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, and you're also in the bottom half of the league in scoring with that roster that I just rattled off.
Yeah, and even if they were to go to the playoffs this year, their penalty kill is going to get them killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. Correct me if you probably know the answer. I do not. I couldn't even tell you who their goalie is.
Alex Lyon. And I think he goes tandem with Cam Talbot.
Hello, what are we talking about here? Their goalies are not good. It's just this is another team like kind of like Buffalo, except like the not Walmart version. It's you've been rebuilding long enough. You've been getting the young pieces. You've been swinging deals, signing this guy, trading that guy. It's kind of like I said. It's just like figure out who and what you are, because you should have been in the playoffs 2 or 3 times already by now.
Yeah,
like this team is going to go on a like they're going to be. What was their playoff record? Like 27 straight years in the playoffs or something like that?
26 or 27, yeah.
They haven't been in what, 8?
Yeah, 8 or 9, 7, 8, 9.
It's like they want to break that record with playoff misses now. I don't understand this.
It's a head scratcher. Like you said, this team's below Ottawa with a much better roster.
Like,
I don't know.
I'm taking a shot in the dark here. You would know better than I do. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time the Red Wings made the playoffs, they were still in the West, no?
When did they change?
Because I don't remember when. I don't remember when they left the West.
That was a long time ago now.
Hold on, I got to plug in my computer.
The Red Wings. Okay, so they last made the playoffs in 2016.
So they were already in the East by then.
Yeah, they moved to the East in the 12-13 season.
Yeah, they were. So all right, so they were already out of the West. So just that point's null and void. But still, you've made the playoffs what, 3 times since you were in the East? 4 times?
Yep.
Like, I know we're biased towards the Eastern Conference being the better conference, but we're not that much better. You should be able to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and that really, the East was clearly better up until about 2 or 3 years ago. It was a big difference.
Listen, I remember people being terrified when Detroit was in the East. It's like, now we have to deal with them, and it's like, oh, I forgot they were even
to play them. Yeah,
it's like, now it's like, oh, now we get to play them.
Yeah, whoopee.
Going to the Senators, and this one was a little bit tough personally, because I don't want to grade them like they're overachievers, but they're overachieving.
Very clearly are.
29, 23, and 4, 4th in the Atlantic, 62 points, 16, 7, and 2 at home, 13, 16, and 2 on the road. 23.2% power play for 10th in the league. 78.2% penalty kill. I'm sorry, 70.2% penalty kill. Good for 20th in the league.
So lukewarm.
It's hard for me to grade, and if you haven't noticed, I'm grading these on the fly, so I'm not so I'm not intentionally grading, because I already know what your grades were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
So, I'm trying not to piggyback off of your grades, but it's also I don't want to be harsh because they improved, which they should have done.
Of course.
But when
tempered.
When the teams behind you are the Sabres, the Canadiens, and the Red Wings, I mean, you still didn't really improve that much. The only team you improved over was Boston, and then Boston you didn't really improve over Boston. Boston is just not good.
This is true.
So, I feel like B- is probably fair.
Anywhere in that B range is fair.
Because I feel like I said, a B- is enough to give them credit for improving, but not too much credit of hey, there's 3 teams in this division that are god awful, and you didn't just,
Yeah,
it's tough.
What's keeping them afloat? I don't want to say afloat. What's keeping them in the position they are is their goaltending has been really good. Linus Ullmark has a 2.5 goals against average. Anton Forsberg is just under a 3. You're going to have 2 goalies that give you that. You're going to be in a top 3/wild card spot.
I mean, listen, Linus Allmark was the difference between jumping Boston.
Yeah.
And that's why Boston should have never gotten rid of him.
I know it's
obviously, listen, we all know it was a money thing, and I understand that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
You make that money appear for a goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you make it work.
Yeah, like that's. Listen, there are 32 teams in the league. You do the math. 32 times 4. What's that? 128 or something like that.
Yep.
There's 120 something centers in the league. There's 120 something left wingers and right wingers. There are 32 teams and 64 goalies. Not nearly as easy to come across.
No, but that was what's stopping me from giving them an A, because they did improve statistically, record-wise, a lot. But they are a smidgen out of the top of the league, the bottom of the league in goal scoring.
Yeah,
they're like 11. They're just out of the bottom 10.
Now we're moving into the division leaders, as they should be of no surprise to anybody.
This is about to get real boring.
Yeah, this is going to get real boring real quick. Tampa Bay Lightning, 31-20-4, 66 points, third in the Atlantic, 18-7-2 at home. Not really the greatest on the road, 13-13-2. 26.9% of the power play for fifth in the league, 80.7% of the penalty kill for 12th. Braden Point leads the team in goals with 31. Kucherov leads the team in points with 82. So you're talking about probably another 120-something point season out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly enough, I almost have to give them like an A-. Not for any, the grade is not going based off of how they're playing, how everything is going. It's the fact that they, again, in Tampa Bay Lightning fashion, they lost a pretty decent amount of pieces last year. They lost Stamkos in free agency. They traded Sergachev to Utah. And they're still hanging around there. I do not know how they're doing this.
Listen, they got 5 guys that are on pace for point per game seasons. They're second in the league in scoring, and you have Vasilevsky behind you. To give him right to an A, no reason not to give him an A, and they're going to be around until they're not.
Yeah, but I think we might have discussed this one episode, of the old show. When Tampa Bay is ready to crash and burn and rebuild, they are going to hit the floor hard.
Oh yeah.
Like they are going to suck for 10 years, like hard.
It's gonna be a tough one, but they've earned it. It's time.
Moving forward.
Let
me just unwrinkle it all up and try to do one of these. Let's bring this in a little closer.
Tell me how you really feel, brother.
There we go. Okay. Toronto Maple Leafs. 33-20-2. Second in the division at 68 points. 19-11-0 at home. 14-9-2 on the road. 23.2% on the power play. Sitting 12th in the league. Penalty kill at 79.9% for 13th in the league. So the special teams are pretty well balanced.
Yep.
William Nylander leading the team in goals with 33. Marner leading the team in points at 71. Okay. So this is the part of the show where I get serious and I take this off.
So you're not serious the whole time?
Okay. So I had my fun while it lasted.
Yeah, you did. I can Photoshop John Tavares, his number on that if you want.
Please do not. So here's the thing. I have to put out a disclaimer because I don't want anything I'm saying to sound like hate, because it will be taken as hate. I think I'm speaking out of fact.
Okay.
it is hard for me to give this team anything higher than like a C plus, B minus.
Okay, explain, elaborate.
Because the special teams are very well rounded. I did a little digging in the last 3 or 4 years for the Maple Leafs, so this is the most well rounded their special teams have been.
Okay,
I will give them that.
okay.
The thing that's keeping me from really like wanting to give them a good grade, and I listen, I don't think a B minus is a bad grade. I think it's a fair grade because this just falls in that category again of same Toronto, different year. I'm not going to discredit anything they are doing or anything they have done in the regular season. As much as I don't want to, I need to see more out of them to take them seriously. Listen,
yeah,
we'll compare. Listen, I'm even willing to compare sports. I will compare them to the Yankees. I will compare them to the Mets. I will compare them to the Cowboys. I will compare them to even right now the Knicks. Until you do something serious with it in the playoffs. Now the Yankees made a World Series run, got slapped. Mets made a NLCS run. They didn't get slapped, but they didn't exactly play their best.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see things like that from them. I need to see an East Finals out of you. I'm not saying, again, I do not want to see a Cup final out of them, but I need to see that to take you seriously.
All right, points taken. All those points are valid. I agree with you on every single one of those points.
It's just what they're doing is just this is the same stuff that gets the Cowboys laughed at every year.
Listen, you're not wrong. I agree with you, everything you just said. However,
oh boy,
this is a mid-season report card. What they have done this year is to be a top 10 team in the league, as they do. I have to give them an A. They have given me no other reason to not say they are not having a great season this year.
I'm willing to give them a B at most. Because, yes, they are having a good season. They are having a very well-balanced special teams. But, again, I've seen this before.
I understand, but what have you seen from game 1 to game 55?
The same thing 55 times.
Which is a top 10 team in the league.
But the only problem I have is with your logic, right? You almost have to give Ottawa an A.
If I didn't have an issue with other aspects of their game, Toronto's too well-rounded for me not to give them an A. Like, their flaw is black magic voodoo that they lose in the first round every year. That's the flaw.
Listen, again, it's up here. I know that they're a good team. I know they're a top 10 team right now. I will not deny that. Up here, just knowing what's coming, knowing how they're going to listen, everybody forgets that part of the Toronto curse, voodoo, black magic, whatever you want to call it, is they're going to lose almost every game next month and somehow manage to crawl out of it in April. That's part of the black magic they have. So it's like I said, it's hard up here to tune that out.
Trust me, I get it.
Because they've been doing that now for 8 years.
I get it. I do get it.
So this is what I'm willing to do. For this season, I will give them an A minus, nothing more.
To the people that are watching, you're welcome. Look what I just did.
For what I'm expecting and the conversation you and I both know we're going to have in July, it is a B and not a letter more.
Don't worry, they're going to lose to Tampa in the first round.
Honestly, for them to win the first round, their best bet is honestly playing Ottawa or Detroit.
Yeah, or if somehow they overtake Florida.
But then again, we're also talking about the Columbus Blue Jackets that swept the President's Trophy Tampa Bay, so anything is possible.
This is true.
We got one team left.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Florida Panthers 34-20-3, first in the Atlantic, 71 points, 17-9-2 at home, 17-11-1 on the road, 24.4% on the power play, good for ninth in the league, 79.3% on the penalty kill, good for 17th in the league. I'm kind of sitting at a B, only because it's like, yeah, this is kind of this is what was expected, but you haven't done anything that's exactly blown me away.
Once again, I have to give them an A. Defending Cup champs, they're doing exactly what they did last year, which worked out. I don't know how much more I can expect from them. They are almost top 5 in the league, and you have two teams that are having historic seasons if they were to continue at this pace.
Listen, to me, it's just one of those like if we came into this midseason report card and they had 40 wins already, excuse me, if they had 40 wins already, it's like, all right, how do I argue 40 wins? You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So, to me, it's just like, okay, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're defending your championship. You're winning games. You're at the top of your division. I believe they're I'm gonna look. I believe they're second or third in the overall league. Okay, they're
actually 6.
Never mind.
Yeah, but you have a logjam from 3 to 8, basically. And most of it's the Western Conference.
There's Winnipeg. Well, I was going to say there's Winnipeg, there's Washington, and then realistically there's everybody else.
They're both on pace. So let's just point something out here. The Rangers won the President's Trophy last year with like a 69.5% points percentage. They're both at 72, almost 73.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's not easy if you're this is kind of in the not fair territory. That's the best way I can describe that one. I'm trying to figure out my laptop charger. It doesn't want to work.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Like, Washington has lost 4 games in regulation at home. And we're talking about Florida. I'm not going to glaze up the Capitals till Thursday.
No, I get it. Believe me. Yeah, like I said, the only thing keeping me from going any further with Florida is, like I said, it's just you're doing exactly what I think you're supposed to be doing. You're not blowing me out of the water. But again, this is personal. I'm sure most other people in the world give them an A. I don't doubt them for that. I don't give them a hard time for that. But, to me, it's always about the improvement and moving forward. And Detroit has not moved forward. That's why they should have gotten basically a freaking F. They are sitting in the same position they have been sitting in every season.
You're just never satisfied.
It's not that I'm never satisfied. I'm a tough critic. I'm a tough critic. We got one left in the Metro for Thursday.
A good one. The main event, baby.
Main event. That should be interesting.
Because say that again.
Yeah, well, because that's our division. We're gonna have a friend with us that day.
Oh, baby, who? Surprise!
Surprise! Surprise!
Mm.
I think that's all we got today.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot. We learned that you're never satisfied. And you're a very tough critic.
Shut up.
We learned that you're recovering nicely from your sickness, and you do a really good tape job.
Yeah, I'm gonna get so much heat for this one. Should I keep it intact for Sunday?
You should wear it underneath your work outfit.
See, that's the only problem is if I wear it, if I keep it under my work outfit, right? Let me put that back on properly.
There you go. Yep.
If I keep it on under my work outfit, the problem is that if somebody sees me, with this, I'm probably screwed.
Yeah, just a tad.
So I think, you know what I might do. I think I don't want to say it while we're recording because then they'll expect it.
Yeah, good point.
All right,
don't worry. You gotta make sure. I'll be ready to record all that.
Beautiful. All right, let's send this home. Tyler Dell alongside Andrew Macaria. We can thank you enough for spending your Tuesday with us for our third part in the midseason report cards. The final the fourth and final part coming Thursday when we recap the Metro Division with our special guest. And then we will be able to finally anticipate the games coming back on Saturday.
Hey, man, at least we got Thursday, 8 p.m., the Four Nations Championship.
Thursday, 8 p.m., Four Nations. We're definitely going to have to film. Let's just give them a fair disclaimer ahead of time. Expect that to be a really quick episode so we can all make sure we're ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
We did it.
We did it. See
One left.
everybody Thursday.
See ya.